you can't and you can barely tell it's a robot on the bottom. That's another thing I love.
Yeah.
It's pretty well hidden. You can't see the face anywhere.
Yeah, hold it up to the camera,
So
which is
ergonomic.
recording at the moment.
This is my Lego fully functioning transformer. Do we want to record transforming this?
Sure, yeah,
And just
go for
add
it.
this to the video?
Yeah.
We might have to reposition where the camera's at to do that, but
I mean-
let me just do a rough around. It's a souped up Mini Cooper.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Minigun on the top.
Ignore the minigun.
There we go.
There you go. It's a Mini Cooper.
Well, a Mini Cooper
Sort of.
van.
A Mini Cooper van, yeah. It's got windshield
Here.
wipers and all that.
It'll do
It's
a
like the Mini
manual
Cooper Clubman,
focus.
which is a... Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So
Mm-hmm.
This is a giant fly, or ant wasp.
But yeah, it's got the newer Lego thing where you turn it and it shoots studs. I'm not going to do it because I'll lose the studs.
Because you lose them.
And I have a limited number of purple ones.
Right.
And then a hand blaster. Just a little hand blaster.
Yo, you got the Grievous wheel? That's cool.
I did get
Yeah.
the wheel bike, yeah.
The wheel bike, yeah.
Oh, you got the hamster wheel.
Yo, I love this
I'd like to
thing.
state for the record that I'm 20 years old. And I finished this 2 days ago.
Really?
seriously?
So it's a recent project.
It's a very recent project.
But
Okay.
I thought it was working like a
okay.
while ago when I first saw it.
Yeah, I gotta restate. I built this like a year ago, but I didn't like it, so I finished updating it 2 days ago. So
Nice. Because I remember you showing it to me a while back, but yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't quite that well.
this is a long-term project that I've been working on for a while.
All right.
It's so cool.
I hope you enjoyed this little bonus
Yes,
footage.
this is bonus.
Speaking
footage.
of cars,
Yes. Okay, well, I'm going to turn the camera off now.
transition.
we're
Yeah.
gonna transform. So you guys feel free to like kick in with like funny comments or like questions or anything while we go through this, just to kind of add to the experience, I guess.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, first off, we got to do the intro to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's podcast time.
It's podcast time.
Is that gonna be the intro to everything now?
Yeah, pretty much.
I just want to keep it to vlog time, but okay.
It's pod time.
It's pod time.
It's pod time.
It's Tide Pod time.
Funny you mentioned that.
It's dead
Plus
meme
car
time.
story.
Funny you mentioned that, because for Black Friday, my sister-in-law bought a big thing of Tide Pod, and she was like, "Reese, look!" And I grabbed it and was like,
It's a month's worth.
delicious.
This is a week's worth of my supply. But no, we're also gonna have some car stories for me because
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of stories. Because
Oh, yeah.
now, a quick disclaimer: all of these are true and have actually happened to me, and they've probably happened to me within the past like 4 years of me.
Uh-huh.
Is that normal?
Yes, that has
The camera.
Oh,
I left
okay.
it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like, you know, just because I'm a huge car guy, for those of you that don't really know much about me, like I live and breathe motor vehicle.
He lives and breathes fumes.
Well, that explains some things.
Car exhaust.
And diesel, yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much diesel anymore. I mean, like
I have 2 brain cells left.
for a couple months there though, it was a lot of diesel. But when I had my internship. But oh wait, I wonder if I could tell them about Cho.
You should definitely tell them about Cho.
I'm gonna add
because
that to
I
the
love
list.
Cho and I've never met him.
Cho is amazing.
Yeah, who's Cho?
Okay, let's talk about Cho. Let's get at the first one. I was
How
gonna
do
do the
you
Ford car deal
spell
first.
his name first off?
CHO.
Okay.
Cho. Just Cho.
Or no, actually it's CHAU.
Oh, so Chow?
No, everybody calls him Cho.
Okay.
I'm not I can't remember because it's been a while.
We'll call him Cho.
It's Cho. Well, that's what everybody calls him. Okay, so
Yeah.
so I had a what do you call it? Internship. I had an internship
Uh-huh.
at a diesel shop. It wasn't like a diesel shop. It was a mechanic bay for a local garbage truck company. I'm not gonna mention what it is because probably not a good idea.
Let's not name brands here.
Yeah, it's a local garbage truck company, and I worked on trucks for them for a semester in high school as part of an internship program to be a diesel mechanic. And one of the guys there, his name was Cho. And a little bit about Cho background that he's told me is he came to the United States when he was 19. He was a diesel mechanic there for like 4 years before that because they have a much younger workforce there because basically before you go to high school you take this big test and if you score low enough the test you're basically not even worth high school to them, so then you go into like workforces like the lower class jobs, and one of those is mechanics. So he was a decent mechanic there. He got a little bit of formal training, but then he decided that he wanted to move here to the United States. I think he was originally from Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
And he got his training there, and then he moved here, and then got the job here, and I think he's had a couple others. But anyways, Cho, so he's a Japanese American. I don't know if I said that, but he's Japanese American. Super, super funny guy. He's about 65, or no, 63, I believe. He had his birthday while I was there. So I'm pretty sure he's like 62, 63, somewhere around there. And Cho is very funny, because he doesn't give a crap. Let's just put it that way. He smokes cigarettes, he drinks coffee, and occasionally works on trucks. And basically, all he does is go around and look at guys and what they're doing and say, "You don't know," and that's basically his like line is "you don't know," or some choice swear words that are in broken English at people while they're doing stuff, and that's pretty much Cho. And then there's his friend Lee. And whenever Cho has a problem, it's Lee's problem, because then because whenever that happens, inevitably if one time he dropped a fuel filter on the ground, it was full of fuel because it's a fuel filter, so fuel got all over the floor, and then you'll hear Lee, and then Lee will be like, "What, Cho?" from wherever he's in the shop, and then he'd be like, "You get the paper towel and we clean this up," and he's like, "Okay," and so and that's just one instance, and whenever you heard Lee, you knew that Cho messed something up. Which was about like 3 times a week.
Cho breaks something. Lee, why you do that?
That's basically what he did. Yeah, like that's and Cho is a very, very funny guy. He also drives probably one of the baddest Mercedes you can get. It's 1999 something. It's a bunch of letters and numbers because it's a German car, but it's basically a twin turbocharged V12 in a 2-seater car.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
It was basically his present to himself for his birthday.
Happy birthday to Cho.
Yeah. So Cho pulls up in that, like, I think I saw him once, and he does a bunch of other cars, but yeah, he's pretty proud of that car, though. That's a little Asian man driving around. And one time, he took me to ride it once, and he went like 90 something on the interstate, and he can barely see over the steering wheel, and you're just like, can you see that right? And when he's weaving and driving, like, oh, it's like, oh, does he see it? Because, oh my god,
Cho doesn't need to see.
Cho feels the force.
He feels the road.
You feel that? Ford Excursion, 3 feet ahead. He feels the force. The force is strong with Cho.
Oh, man.
That's great. Yeah. And driving garbage trucks is also really scary with him. Because he's like, "You have good health insurance, right?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, if we crash it, his company pay us good money." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't think that's how that works." And he's like, "Oh, you don't know." And then he hits the gas and goes like 75 in a giant garbage truck down the interstate. Gets behind somebody, slams on the brakes. Dun, dun, and you're like, "Joe, what are you doing?" "They don't know." He's like, "What do you mean they don't know? You're going over the speed limit." He's like, "Oh, it don't matter." I'm like, "Okay, whatever you say, Joe." So that was great. That was, yeah. Keep in mind, we literally just did we just had to, and I believe on the truck that I went with him with, we had just re-welded on part of the hopper. And he decides the first thing he's going to do is drive 75 down the interstate in a truck with wind resistance pushing against it. And, we don't know if the whale's going to break. And,
oh, you don't know.
Oh, you don't know. And just the entire hopper just flies off. Cause I mean, we don't know. So that was great. Find out. Yeah, that was great. And then he drinks about 3 gallons of coffee a day. So that's great.
I might explain a few things.
Smokes 2 packs probably, so
yeah. Well, that explains even more.
Yeah.
You're never gonna keep up with Joe.
I mean, basically everybody there smoked, but I mean, that's just old mechanics.
Yeah, that's mechanics for you.
Yeah. I mean, what else are they gonna do while they're in downtime? Oh, but that's Cho for you. He also had about 10 grand worth of tools and like 3 things that he went to pawn shops all the time and garage sales and bought pretty much everything. Yeah. And he'd tell you how much every single one of those. Oh, that was $200. Oh, okay, Cho. All right, yeah. Cool. Wow, $200. Oh. Yeah, I bought it for 17. I'm like, nice. Use tools for a lot less than they're worth? No, or a lot less than they were originally? Wow.
Impressive.
But I mean, it's whatever. I mean, he's a great guy though. That was basically my time at this garbage company.
Did we never tell you about Cho, Kyle?
Have you ever learned about Cho?
Yes, you have mentioned him before.
I think we mentioned him a couple times when we
we never told the full Cho story.
But that's pretty much everything there is to know about Cho.
I think he talked about one time how he must have fallen asleep underneath a vehicle or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so one time he was changing out an oil pan, which is not fun. Because oil pans for giant garbage trucks are massive.
Oh, right.
And heavy. Yeah. But he was underneath it, and he's all like, okay, I go under here, and I fix it, alright? I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm tired. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I had a long night. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, I was working on my car. And I'm like, oh. So you got done working on cars, and then you go home and work on more cars. That sounds fun. But anyways, so he goes underneath it, and he's like, you hear like a little bit of ratchets, like a little... And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And I'm like, getting some other tools ready, because, there's got to be a quick change before when he's holding it down to getting it out, and there's not much time, because but anyways, so I'm getting stuff ready, and then I'm like, alright, just let me know when you're ready, Joe. Okay! And then I'm like, alright. And then one guy comes over and he's like, hey, can you help me with something real quick? I don't remember who or what it was, but... So I go over to help him real quick, and I'm like, Joe, I'll be right back. He's like, okay. And I'm like, alright. Like, 15 minutes later, I come back, and I can still see Cho's legs out, and I'm like, how you doing, Cho? 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 Like, oh gosh, what did he do? And I'm like, Cho! Cho! And everybody's like, what's going on? Dead? I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with him. I'm like, oh, Cho! So they yank him out of there. I'm like, Cho! They slap him. He's like, whoa! Wait, he's like, what are you doing? And we're like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, you don't know? And he just goes back under there. And I'm like, did you fall asleep, Cho? And he's like, yeah. That was after everybody left, and he's just like, okay. Yeah. And he almost punched him when they woke up. He's like, oh. He's like, what are you doing?
You fall asleep, Joe.
It would have been so much more funny if it was Lee, though, because it wasn't Lee, and he'd be like, Lee!
Why you fall asleep? Do your job!
Lee, why you fall asleep?
What would happen if a burglar just randomly showed up and...
Stop! You don't know!
You don't know what it's worth.
I got these for $15. That's $200.
Yeah. Then, yeah.
Oh, Cho.
But yeah, you don't work there anymore, do you?
No. I would have loved to meet his wife, though, because she sounded pretty funny.
Okay.
And he's excited because all of his sons and both of his sons were going to be doctors. And he's like, you want to be doctor? And I'm like, no. And he asked me that for like the first week. He's like, you want to be doctor? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you want to be, doctor, you want to be lawyer? And I'm like, no. And he's like, why are you here? And I'm like, because I want to be a mechanic. Oh, you don't know. You make no money. And I was like, what do you mean you make no money? He's like, And then after he bought his car, I'm like, yeah, you make no money, huh? He's like, oh, I make more than you. And I'm like, well, I don't get paid. I'm an intern. And he's like, oh, you go upstairs and you demand money. And I'm like, you ask for a check. And I'm like, no, I don't think they'd be happy with that. He's like, you don't know.
No, you don't know.
Yep, pretty much.
You don't know what I know.
You don't know what I know.
I'm Cho, I know.
Yeah, that's Cho. So that's I guess the first Sam's car story.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with cars, but I mean, it's kind of car related, I guess.
Yeah,
still funny.
There will be more to come.
Yeah, there will be more to come. We're actually right now we're gonna be probably knocking out a lot of these, so you guys will probably routinely see these coming out.
Yeah. But you recently just got a job at Walmart, right, Sam?
I did.
How's that been going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a job. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean,
Yeah.
I get there, I scan the things, I put them on the shelves, and I go home.
I've been working a lot too. The past couple of months I've been pretty busy. For all of us, actually. We haven't been able to get together a whole lot.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But now that we've wrapped up the Minecraft series, we really want to do Skits again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were gonna do Skits today, but the weather was not really permitting for the ones that we wanted to get done.
We could do them technically, but
it wouldn't be as... I feel like... The one in particular that we wanted to do, I think, would do better with more dry weather.
Yeah.
It's pretty muddy out right now.
well, dry weather will come.
Dry weather will come.
And it'll
in a couple
come hard.
months.
In a couple of
in
months.
like 6 months. Or it could be tomorrow. I don't know.
Who
It's South
knows?
Dakota.
I mean, we
100.
went from 50-degree weather to, what was it, -2 in the span of 2 days, so... And that was last week,
Yeah, that
so...
happened.
Yeah.
That
was a thing.
Welcome to South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Midwest.
About as bipolar as you can get.
The northern Midwest,
Yeah.
I guess.
That's why I got a dash cam
Yeah.
for the car, so...
Because we had, what, like 30 accidents on the first snow?
Oh,
and it
wow.
wasn't even that much
It was like
snow.
42, I think I
It was
read.
like
It was-
42 accidents.
And it was like
in the
less than
first
an inch of
day.
snow.
And
Well,
less than an inch of snow.
was it less than an inch?
Well,
It was less than an inch of
the
snow.
roads were
It was
pretty
a-
slick.
It was a little icy, but people were not ready for it.
Oh, no. Everyone still had their summer tires.
Yeah, it was
Everyone's slipping around. I kind of slipped a little here and
a
there.
little slick, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
No.
Still, 42 accidents? I
Yeah,
mean, we should
that
be used
was
to
a
this by now,
lot.
people.
Yeah,
We never will.
we will never.
Just
be.
avoid the schools, especially the high schools.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because every year, it was kind of a tradition. You'd hear about all the accidents that took place
Yeah.
on the first day that it snowed. Snow days are different here. You know, we don't have snow days here in the city. Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Like if we got a snow day,
It
like,
was bad.
Somebody would have had to have gotten lost and died because the blizzard was so bad.
Yeah.
That's the only time they will cancel school.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's more common out in the countryside because...
In Iowa, they
Yeah.
do it a lot more than they do it here. But like,
Because
Sioux Falls
there's, like-
Christian
yeah.
is a private school around here, and they never cancel. Like
No.
you can have a full like sheet thick of ice going
You
across.
could be
their
living on a
entire
glacier,
parking lot.
and they wouldn't.
Like, you can have a car crash in the parking lot because it's so slippery, but you're going to school. Like,
Nope.
You're going to learn today, boy.
you gonna learn.
Because we have snow plows and lots of salt.
Yeah, lots of salt.
Yes.
So yeah, it's always entertaining to watch people drive though. 'Cause
Yeah.
there are some people who will make very interesting driving decisions
Uh-huh.
with all the snow. They'll drive like it's summer on the interstate in
Yeah.
the middle of town.
Uh-huh.
That's mainly the big trucks, though.
Yeah, because they think they're invincible.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, I got 4-wheel drive, man. I can do anything.
I mean, I got a 4-wheel drive too, but I don't care.
I ain't gonna slow down though. I got a
Four-wheel
Prius in
drive.
front of me, but I ain't gonna slow down.
Four-wheel drive can't replace
He better
stupid.
speed up.
Oh man, watching Priuses try and drive
Yeah,
this
good
time
pitiful.
of year
Just stay
is
home.
hilarious.
Pity.
Just go back to California.
Just
please.
stay.
Just go back
stay
to-
home.
Go back where you belong. You don't know.
Survival of the fittest, and you ain't got 4-wheel drive.
I've evolutionized to the modern era of all-wheel or 4-wheel drive.
And you prepare your Darwin Awards.
Be prepared.
And this year's season's Darwin Award goes to all the Priuses in South Dakota. Round of applause. Oh yeah.
So, do we want to do another car story, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
What
go
you got?
for it.
What you
So,
got?
so here's the choices, guys. I want you guys to decide. So we got Ford car deal, my current car deal story.
Uh-huh.
Honda blowing up that was trying to race me.
Oh,
Ooh,
do that one.
do that one.
No, you gotta listen to them all.
Okay.
Stuck up chick car crash.
Okay.
Adam road rage. Corvette that dropped engine out.
Oh.
How my Geo always gets raced. People always try and race it.
These sound like editorials.
Twin turbo Jeep Cherokee. Trying to sell a broken 2001 Mustang to weird people who offered me like the strangest of trades for it.
I like the blowing up Honda.
Yeah, do the Honda.
Okay. And then maybe the engine dropping out of the...
Okay, Corvette dropping out of the engine? Okay. So the Honda blew up, alright. So, there's a street...
The Honda blew up, the end.
There's a street here in Sioux Falls, and for those of you more uninformed about street racing scenes or just cars in general, or literally just don't care, there's a certain...
Tune out now!
There's a back highway that's become a lot more busy lately, but like a couple of years ago it was a lot more dead than it used to be because there weren't as many shopping centers.
Which
Highway 11.
Oh, 11? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's, if I can describe it, it's backed by it's Dolly Farms. Like if anybody knows,
you know where South Dakota. If
yeah.
you know Sioux Falls, by Dolly Farm.
By Dolly Farm.
Uh-huh.
And it's the road back behind there, kind of. And it's a pretty long stretch of highway that, the speed limit is 45, 40?
Yeah,
it depends on where you are.
Well, yeah, it gets to 50 when
depends
you get
on how you
out
feel.
of city limits. Well, yeah. So
I should specify, it depends who's driving.
it's a hot street racing scene when you get to about 2 in the morning. And
right.
So I used to work at a movie theater down there. That was one of my jobs, and that the Dolly Farms Cinemark. And I got off at like 11 or 12 one night because that's about when we close. And so I'm driving my Dodge Stratus at this point, and I had done my cold air intake, and I had done, I think I put on the bigger camshaft onto it, right. And then I had done well, seeing as that was my first car and I was 16 at the time, I did a muffler delete.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, it didn't sound like a Honda, It was actually a little bit deeper because they had the bigger cam in it, so it actually sounded... And it had a cold air intake, so it actually made about 300 horsepower, maybe. I didn't dyno
Stratus, you get...
Probably it's 240 horsepower stock for that, because it was a 3-liter, so it was pretty big, actually. It was a pretty beefy engine. So I'd say it was about 275, maybe. Let's go around that. All right. It was a decent amount of horsepower. Anyways, and it had a good rumble to it. Nothing crazy, but. So I'm leaving, and I pull up to the net. There's like 3 lights that are kind of like within like a 3-mile radius or a 3-mile like down the highway. And I pull up to one of them, and then I hear. And oh my goodness! What pulls up to me? The wild Honda appears, and of course, this Honda, and I've seen it around town a couple times since then. It's bad. If it has a fake hood scoop on it, fake hood scoop, it has giant white sticker lettering on both sides that says Honda, and then it's got I don't know, it's probably a glue-on or like a stick-on like spoiler in the back.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, you probably have. It's got like the black accents on it on the white Honda. Yeah, it was that Honda. And of course, he's got the muffler delete too. He's like pulls up next to me. I'm guessing, since I've seen this guy still driving now, I'm guessing he probably did an engine swap on it because of what happens next. So pulls up next to me. Me and my Stratus, knowing that I'd probably have twice the horsepower of this tiny little Honda, and this guy that has a laughable amount of decorations on his Honda. I'm like,
race car wannabe.
I'm little like, I don't care at this point. Put it in a neutral, rev up, be like, oh, yep, we nod, yep, the South Dakota
confirmation of racing.
like basically, in any other sense, here's how street racing works in the real world. It's organized. You actually have a scout that goes ahead of 2 actually decent fast cars that you actually know have like 800
that
horsepower.
Are built for it.
Yeah, that are actually good. And then you have a scout that goes ahead, looks for cops. They radio back and you're good. Okay, you go to 60 miles an hour on the highway, in both lanes, so blocking everybody behind you. And you usually do it on like most cities, on like a 65 or something like that. And then sometimes you do it like 50, depending on what the speed limit is. So you can slow down everybody behind you and get everybody mad because it's only a 2-lane highway and you're both going slower than the speed limit. and then you honk the horn 3 times, and then you do a pull until, whatever the route is, right? So, but in South Dakota, what you do, no. Anybody that has a semi-loud car and you pull up next to them at a light, you're racing. And even if you don't want to, the other person knows you're racing. And this is actually going to go into, everybody tries to race me in my current car. I'm actually going to go do both because they're both very similar. My current car, we'll get back to the Honda in just a few minutes, but my current car is a Geo Prism from 1992. It's completely stock engine. I haven't done anything to it. But the guy before me decided, hey, what am I going to do? How can I make this car better? Ooh, I know. Let's cut out the exhaust right after the catalytic converter and put in a glass pack. And if you don't know what a glass pack is, it's a long tube of titanium that is like larger than that is slightly larger than the exhaust piping around it. And since it's titanium, it makes your car a lot louder, but without having to do a muffler delete. It's basically a muffler delete without deleting your muffler. That's the easiest way. I mean, it's the easiest way to describe it.
Okay.
But the one thing you do not do that everybody knows is everybody should know is you do not put a glass pack right behind the catalytic converter, because the catalytic converter is a 3,000 degree piece of a car equipment, because it superheats the exhaust coming out and burns off all the harmful chemicals on it and makes the exhaust cleaner, basically. And the exhaust piping around the catalytic converter is much more beefy than the ones after it, because it cools down pretty fast after that. So you always want to put the glass pack as close to the muffler as possible, like right before the muffler. But no. He puts it right there, literally welds it to the catalytic converter. So this thing probably got superheated over the couple months that he drove it, and it got a giant hole in it. Whoa! So, right after the catalytic converter, where it's the fastest, glass pack, which makes it 10 times louder, and there's a hole in it. So this car is so loud. It is Honda times 10. It is bad. I am embarrassed to drive this thing. You have no idea. I literally am mad about this car. Like, I like loud cars, but this thing is just obnoxious and I hate it. So much so that the second I got my job, I actually found a crappy car deal that I'm still trying to work out and bought a new car, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Go back to the Honda.
That's a whole story in itself. But every time I pull up to a light in this so loud car, every time, I've had lifted trucks that have no way that they would ever beat me, because they're V8 trucks that are lifted. They have, I have a manual too, and it's manual, so it's faster than usual because I can actually choose what. I would cream them, but no, I gotta go. What's the truck, bro? Yeah, you wanna go, bro? Yeah. And it's like, okay, whatever makes you feel good, bro. Every time I try to pass somebody, they have to speed up because they think that I'm some obnoxious person and they don't want to let me into the next traffic because I'm trying to pass them, even though they're going like 500. All of a sudden, they're going like 30 over the speed limit just to pass me because no. It's horrible. The other day, I had a Honda Civic Si behind me in the turn lane. It was only one turn lane. I turn. Nope. He's got to get into the next lane over. Oh, go right past me. Oh, yo, bro. Go over me. Oh, bro. Oh, you want to go, bro? Oh. And that's every single time. It's horrible. I mean, I hate it. I just hate driving this thing. It is such a piece of crap. And it's not mechanically a piece of crap. It's just everybody has to show me up because I have a loud car. And they think I did it on purpose. I didn't want this. I never wanted this. It's the only car I could afford. I'm sorry. You gotta feed your egos by beating the little tiny Geo Prism with a 1.2 liter Toyota Camry engine inside of it. It sounds like it's a monster truck. I'm sorry.
Okay, back to the Honda.
So, this Honda, in my Stratus, we're like, all right, we've engaged, we've looked at each other. We've nodded, we've engaged the race, it's on. We know what we're doing. We don't even have to speak. We don't even have to, we just know. We just know that we're on.
Uh-huh. Is it pizza time yet?
It's pizza time, boys. We gotta take a break.
Okay. We'll be back after this commercial break.
We'll finish this story.
We'll finish the story because we're almost there.
Okay.
Light turns green. I naturally am ahead of him right off the bat. he's giving it. I mean, we're going everything we got, pedal to the metal, boys. I mean, like I'm about a full car length ahead of him, but he's kind of keeping up. I mean, he's losing a little bit of ground, and then all of a sudden, I just hear, boom! And it was, and I'm like, whoa, what was that? I literally heard like a gunshot. I mean, it was like a cannon going.
This guy's taking the race really seriously.
Basically, I was a little GTA. I thought it was mine for a second. I'm like, whoa, and I slowed down. I just take my foot off the gas and I started slowing down. I'm like, whoa. Then I look behind me. Oh, smoke pouring out of this Honda. It's the guy's coming to a complete stop. I mean, it's just, I mean, just, and I'm just like, Honda, reliable. And then I just laugh to myself, turn onto the road. I go home that night. And I rest easy knowing that I took out one less obnoxious Honda driver. But unfortunately, he's back on the road in the same Honda. I'm guessing he probably did like a $300 engine swap.
But hey, crazy thing is...
What's the crazy thing?
I know where I recognize that Honda from.
Where do you recognize the Honda from?
We're gonna go eat pizza.
Okay.
And then I will tell you.
Alright, let's do it. Break time, boys. We'll
pizza break.
It's a pizza break. It's a pizza commercial break. This brought to you by nobody.
This brought to you by Name Pizza Brand.
Because this channel is not monetized.
Okay. Part 2.
We are back from our
pizza endeavor.
And so, as I was saying, the Honda that you raced, in particular.
Yes.
I know where I first saw that Honda.
Yes.
It was leaving Dolly Farm on Highway 11.
Yes.
Alec and I had gone to see a movie, and we stopped at a stoplight.
Did he try and race you?
I didn't realize that he wanted to race because I was watching the road, but Alec's sitting there, and this Honda pulls up. White letters, fake spoiler, comes up next to us. I didn't even see it. But he's revving, and I'm just like waiting for the green light, and I'm my mind is kind of elsewhere. And green light comes on. Honda's like, and I'm just like slowly easing onto the gas and just pass him. I'm just driving normally and passing him, and he's like, and Alex like, did you even realize that guy was trying to race you? I was like, what? So I look back and he's revving and like, and he's like trying to go fast, and I'm just driving 30 miles an hour.
That is actually amazing that he tried to do the same thing to you.
Because I couldn't remember where I had seen that Honda before, and now
that is so funny.
So that guy is a repeat offender.
He's just an idiot. Obviously, your Honda's trash. You got beat by a Toyota
Camry from
that has
99.
nothing modded to it at all.
So
and you didn't even know you were racing.
So that adds just another level of that's super funny.
It is actually amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, man.
That is great.
That was a really good that was a really great add-on to the story.
So if you've ever wondered why we have such stereotypes against Honda Civic drivers,
yeah, we're not a
it's
fan
not that
of
we even
them.
hate them or anything. It's just they're just trash.
It's just usually they're driven by an idiot. Man.
Or person who thinks that it's fast but really doesn't.
Check out my sports car. Yeah, your quote-unquote sports car.
Your Honda Civic SI, which literally stands for Sport Intake. Or Sport Injection. It's Sport Injection, but still.
That's why they think it's a sports car.
Because that's what sport in it.
It's got sport in it, so it's got to be fast.
Because they're manual, and they're maybe have an extra 30 horsepower when you press the gas all the way down. Oh no, you have 160 horsepower? Oh! Crap! I surely
Step out of the way, this guy means business!
I don't want to waste him. He big, he got the big guns. He got the big sport injection.
Meanwhile, they got beaten by a white 99 Toyota Camry named Bessie.
And a Dodge Stratus.
Why is it named Bessie? I know this.
Okay, so
because why not?
We were my dad does a ministry where we lead worship for like low-income churches and stuff, and we do events. And we were going to New Mexico. And we needed to take 2 cars. We needed to take our company, the ministry's Suburban, and my car, which is the 99 Toyota Camry.
Yes.
At this point, the car was not named. So we're driving there, and in case you didn't know, from Colorado
at this
to
point,
New
I
Mexico,
still have my pants on.
At this point, I still had my pants on.
Long story.
We'll get to that. No, but so in case you didn't know, from Colorado to New Mexico, there is a huge altitude jump. Because most of New Mexico is on the top of a plateau. Gosh dang it, Sam.
I couldn't help it. It was too perfect,
but I can't tell the story.
That's another story we gotta tell.
That's another story.
Okay, continue.
So, as we're climbing the altitude and everything to get to this top of this plateau, my Camry had been having some trouble. Like the more you'd accelerate, the engine would kind of lag. And wouldn't fully catch up for a few seconds.
Not to mention the altitude.
And the altitude was screwing with it and everything. Mm-hmm. And so as we're driving, every time we come to this big hill to climb altitude, the car's like going, trying to get up the hill and everything, and the dial's going up. And so everybody in the car, there was 4 of us guys in the car. And we're all sitting there like slapping the dashboard like, come on, Bessie! You can do it, girl! Get up there! And so, car revs up, gets to the top of the hill, cools down. We're like, yeah, Bessie! And so we ended up naming the car Bessie. But despite all of our best efforts, the car did die on that trip. Because because of the altitude rise, there was pressure buildup in the alternator, and it made it shut down because it was climbing altitude too fast. So it died for a day, and we came back and got it off the side of the interstate, and it ran totally fine all the way trip home.
Yeah. It just needed to heal.
It just needed to adjust to its climate. But yeah, that's how we got my car named Bessie. But
she still runs to this day.
She still runs to this day. Driving her, she's strong. So.
Yeah.
Cheers to Bessie.
Boy, how would that Honda do?
I don't know. Poorly.
Very poorly.
Very poorly. I mean, it would probably do as well as Bessie until it shut down, and then it would just shut down forever.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Toyota Camrys is they don't die. You have to try really hard to kill a Toyota Camry.
Like drop it in the ocean.
Yeah.
That'd probably do it.
That'd probably do it.
Yeah.
Keeps driving.
We going to Europe! We sealed this Toyota Camry with Flex Seal!
To show the power of Flex Seal, we drove this Toyota underwater!
And the inside is perfectly dry.
The inside is still dry. What about the oxygen? That's another thing. That's another matter. The driver suffocated, but
I saw this car's mileage in half.
Phil Swift died today, unfortunately.
Wait,
as
what?
a result of,
no, he's as a result of driving a car underwater.
with the oxygen problem.
Well, Kyle was very concerned. Like, wait,
Kyle
did
was
he
like,
actually die?
No!
I mean, after Stan Lee,
That's worse than we can't handle it after Stanley. We can't have another.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, death of a legend. We can't take anything for granted now.
Life is precious, everyone.
Indeed. Okay, so speaking of existential crises, did you see the most recent Pixar trailer?
Soul?
Yes.
Yes. I really am not sure.
Yeah, same
I have
here.
a feeling, like, initially when I first saw it, it was a guy playing, like, piano and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, I thought it was about soul music.
Uh-huh.
But then he straight up fell down a manhole, and I presume he died.
I mean, the way it's described is that his soul separated from his body, which is basically death.
It's super dark.
Uh-huh.
Who?
Which is nothing
Pixar
new
for
to
you.
Pixar.
Yeah, Pixar knows how to use dark material.
Uh-huh.
So, like, the animation looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it looks great. I loved the first part of the trailer.
Incredible.
It was great.
But Soul?
Soul?
Yeah.
The trailer for that?
Oh.
It looks really
That's
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll probably see it just because I love Pixar movies.
Uh-huh.
And, like Inside Out is one of my top animated movies ever.
Really?
But yeah, Soul is basically Inside Out.
It's basically
too.
Inside Out, the sequel, but with your soul instead of your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested to see what direction they take with it.
Yeah, it's an idea that has potential.
Yeah, I have a feeling a lot of it's gonna be about like, you know, like what you leave on the earth, like what message or
yeah,
whatever,
it's gonna
what
be
your
very
legacy is.
very existential.
Yeah,
Hopefully it.
and it's a kids movie. Yeah. Next thing we need to do is remind. All right, so we've already emotionally traumatized the kids with Inside Out.
Well, not only that, but well, never mind.
Yeah, and just with Inside Out, and then now let's teach them existentialism. let's have them make them have an existential crisis and realize their own mortality with Soul.
Thanks, Pixar. I mean, it's sort of like we're not traumatizing kids with all this climate change crap.
That's another story.
That's another podcast.
That's another.
Yeah.
That's another channel.
That's another channel. That's another streaming service.
That's another video sharing platform.
We don't want to get into that on YouTube.
All right, boys. Ford car deal, stuck up chick car crash, Adam road rage, Corvette that dropped engine out, twin turbo Jeep Cherokee.
Corvette.
Trying to sell my broken 2000. Okay.
Corvette dropping engine out.
Corvette dropping engine out. So, as a avid car enthusiast, I go to a lot of car shows. One of my favorites, actually, here in Sioux Falls is the annual Corvette and Camaro car show. Because, you know, I'm a Chevy boy at heart, so, you know, gotta represent. Lots of cool Corvettes and Camaros. Corvettes, there are some really nice ones here in Sioux Falls. There's a couple that are actually national award winners.
I know a few of the collectors in Sioux Falls, and yeah, they've got some nice stuff.
Yeah. There's this one in particular. It's what is it? What was the year? I think it's a '67, like the Stingray. You know, like the really angled nose. You know.
Yeah.
There's like a '67 that's black. He has the red line tires on it, but it has like the raised back end, and it's like all red interior, like deep black. Oh my goodness.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, have you ever seen the one where they spliced a 2017 with a 1960s one?
No.
It's literally like the front end of one and the back end of another. And it's the most disgusting car I've ever seen.
That sounds... Yeah, I was going to say, like, I can't...
It's absolutely disgusting. And it's like an ocean blue.
Ew.
It's so bad.
Oh, that's bad.
We were walking through the Corvette show and we were like, oh, that's awesome. What the heck is that? Walk over there. Ugh! I mean, you can't do that because the owner's standing there. But you're like walking around, it's like... This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. It's like, this shouldn't even be on the road. Like, why did this ever...
Why have you done this?
I can't believe you've done this. It's like, how did this ever become a concept in someone's mind where they thought that was a good idea?
It used to be like a style...
Illumination Entertainment. Let's take half of one good thing and splice it with a horrible thing and make one monstrosity.
Minions movie!
Minions!
Actually, that wasn't a bad movie.
Minions wasn't terrible, but...
Could have been better.
It was 2015 for you.
And the animated movies are just
like,
getting
I love it how
worse.
like us like millennials and Gen Zs now, it's like we don't like associate things with anything that was just like that year. It's like, oh, that's 2015. Oh, and everybody just understands.
2016.
2016. Oh,
still recovering.
Just basically.
Continue, Sam.
Anyways, Corvette engine dropping out.
Yeah. So then I talked to this one guy who had like a I think it was purpose built for drag racing.
Okay.
Is kind of what he went for, and it was like a I want to say like a I'm trying to think. It was like a.
It was a car.
No. Like, what's the generations of Corvettes? What are they called? It's like a.
I don't know.
No idea.
I'm not.
Oh, come on.
Google it.
You don't know what each generation is called?
No.
Really?
No.
Gen X,
No.
Boomer.
Boomermobile.
That was the Boomermobile because it was made in the year of the Boomers.
This is so bad. We're never gonna get views because we keep diverting from the story.
Okay. It was It's like an early 2000s probably Vette is what I'm guessing.
Okay.
It was when they started like actually getting pretty good.
It.
Yeah, it had the pop-up headlights still.
Yep.
Smoother body. Yes.
Yep.
He had one of those, but it was like it had like a big block V8 in it. I think it was a bit of an older V8. It wasn't an LS motor. It had a Holly on it. I think it was. I don't know if it was naturally aspirated. I'm pretty sure it was. Pretty nice car. Roll cage gutted out. Drag style. 3-speed. 3-speed. Hurst in it. And so it was really nice. And I told him, I'm like, oh, that's a nice car. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, on the way out, you gonna do a burnout? And he's like, oh yeah, naturally, man, because that's what you do. And so I stayed the rest of the day, and I kind of forgot about it. But then on the when he started up, I'm like, big vlog, it was loud, he'd done it.
Richard Nixon.
I am not a rock.
It's like literally the sound of this Corvette. It's just the Nixon mobile.
Jowls.
So everybody like, oh yeah, he's starting. I'm like, oh yeah, there it goes. He gets out to like the edge to get onto because it's at that one venue right by the Empire Mall.
Right.
So he turned out onto the side road out of the Empire Mall, and then he was gonna do it like right before he got onto the main road. And so then he lights it up. He's like, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, nice, like yeah, ooh, big burnout, yeah. Then he lets out start comes off the gas. Then he lurches forward, and he turns right, so he's gonna go like past us, right in front of us, and he goes, and as he turns onto the thing, and I think as he's shifting up in a second, the entire engine fell off the brackets because it had vibrated itself off of it slowly. Because what he didn't realize, because this was a brand new build that he got done that summer.
Oh no!
And what he did was instead, because this is a big block, remind you. So big block cars, they idle at he has it so it idles at a higher RPM, but also is big, and it's not an LS. LSs are they have a high power band, but it's only later in the thing.
Right.
So they don't really shake around as much. At all. They're a pretty tame motor when it comes to actually vibrations. So he kept in the stock motor mounts when he put in this new V8 and didn't think that, I might need beefier ones because, it's his first build, he doesn't,
right.
He doesn't, So this thing had literally over the course of the month and a half, I think, of him driving it, had shaken itself apart so much that it just dropped right out of the thing. It completely snapped this, $4,000 transmission. Well, probably even more than that, actually. I'm not exactly sure how... Because it was a brand new 3-speed Hurst transmission, and Hurst is pretty expensive seeing as a racing transmission, so... It was probably $6 or $7 grand. And it just dropped out, it just... caught on fire, police department or fire department was called, Because, gas and fire pouring out of an engine that just, was scraping against the concrete.
Wait, is that not a good mixture?
Not really.
You don't generally want that in cars.
you tend to want to avoid it, but if it happens,
But it looks cool, man.
So basically, the whole front of that Corvette was also burnt up and demolished.
Oh,
yikes,
man!
So that was probably close to $100 grand down the drain.
You can't get much worse than that.
That's
hard to come back from something like that.
Yeah. So that was a big oof story right there. Big oof.
That was quite the oof.
Wow, that is so Gen Z.
Okay, Boomer.
Boomer just be like, who's politics and driving? That's what happened, Just driving.
It's just video games.
It was just video games, boy. Although I am an avid no texting and driving person myself, so.
Duh.
Well, aren't we all?
Oh wait, I could talk about that.
Unfortunately, no. Not everybody is.
I could talk about no brakes and getting hit by a car.
That's true. I don't know if we've ever talked about that on a podcast.
I don't know if we've ever talked about that story.
Go for it.
This is the progenitor of all of Sam's ridiculous automotive stories.
Right. Yes. Okay. Sit back, boys.
We ready.
This includes a Honda.
It does.
And it includes a motorcycle.
Oh, I love that.
Well, okay, air quotes on motorcycle.
Okay, it includes a
two-wheeled vehicle
moped
of
like,
questionable quality.
it was more powerful than a moped, but it was smaller than a motorcycle, whatever that means.
It's smaller than a motorcycle. It doesn't. Is that what it Go on.
Anyway.
Well, it's complicated, but we have a complicated history. But basically, so one morning at school, I had built this little motorbike by myself, little project, just kind of fun, and this was when I still owned the Stratus, mind you, so time-wise here. I was still 16. Just to let you know, 16-year-old me was...
quite the rambunctious fellow.
Pretty much. We're in English accents now. No, I'm just kidding. I need a chair because my knees are not doing so great.
I will grab a chair. You continue with the story.
Okay, thank you, Reis. So little rambunctious me decided, ooh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be a rebel at school, like all of us. Oh, lovely. He had a chair right there.
I do.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah, unfortunately, my new work is me walking like 6 miles every day. So, and yesterday especially because Black Friday, so I was standing in the same position for 2 hours, which hurts.
All right.
Oh, that's a lot.
16-year-old Sam.
16-year-old Sam was a very dumb 16-year-old.
16 and stupid.
But then again, that's a lot of high school students. So,
yeah.
I had this little moped bike thingy, and I was like, and I hadn't put brakes on it yet, because
Did you ever put brakes on it?
No. You kidding me? I live without brakes. And so I looked up brakes and how much they would be, and it was like $45 for a standard drum brake system for like a small motorcycle moped bike thingy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, $45. I don't have $45. So I could either save up for like a month, because at that time I was still working at Fairway and they paid me crap. I worked like 2 days a week and made like $7 something an hour. Yeah, back in those days, kids. Before the $9, $10 an hour.
Back in my day.
Like, I love it how in the last 4 years it's gone from like $7.35 is the minimum wage South Dakota to $9.10.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
I was quite surprised, but seeing
two
that.
giant minimum wage raises.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was really not making much money, so it would take me, because I was making like $26 a week working there, which is the main reason why I left. But I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take it to school, because I can literally just take my hands off of the accelerator and just put my feet on the ground and come to a stop that way. Because, it's like a 2-mile ride to, like, school, and, it's on a pretty major road, but at the same time, like, I know my motorcycle signals and stuff. So I'm like, okay. And then I convinced my shop teacher I'm like, hey, can I bring a moped to school, but, like, park it in here, because I can't really put a tag on that, and he's like, oh, fine, because, like, I was taking welding at the time. He's like, whatever, I don't, he was a really chill shop teacher. Shout out Mr. Thorpe, but you're never going to watch this, but other than that.
He's like the main subscriber.
Oh, Sammy, give a shout out. So, I show up to school. I made it there safely, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I didn't kill myself like I had planned the time.
Plans wasted.
But I made it there fine, thank goodness. Surprisingly is what I was going for, I think. And so I come in and I'm like, hey. And then I'm like, oh yeah. And everybody's like, oh yeah, that's so cool. I'm like, oh yeah, beep, 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 beep. And then I turned down one of the lanes of parking lot that is at school, and I turned down and I started going, and I'm going like maybe 50 or 20. It doesn't have a speedometer, of course, because that was like $50, and I'm like, who needs a speedometer anyways? I can just judge my.
I don't even have brakes. Like.
Yeah, pretty much. Like.
Do you really think I care about how fast I'm going?
And then, what comes around the corner? Because there's a slight bend in this thing, and so I wasn't really paying attention a whole lot. But a wild Honda Accord. A wild Honda Accord appears. Ding ding. And he's coming straight at me, and I'm going straight at him, and I'm like, oh crap, turn off. I'm like, we're basically playing chicken at this point, and we're just like, oh, and I'm like, okay. So then, basically, my logic is, okay, each of us are going to either turn left, or we're each going to turn right. And I'm like, okay, left, and I turn left, hoping that he's going to see me. But then at the same time, it didn't make... But then, thinking about it now, it doesn't make sense, because if we both turn right, it would make more sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because turning right would be on the proper side, but I turned left, he turned left, and then, like, I'm like, oh! So I tried to swerve the opposite direction and cut right, like, as fast as possible. Got clipped on the side. It didn't hit me. Nothing on his car hit me. But, like, obviously, like, then I, like, got hit. I started wobbling. And then I tried to slam on the brakes, but I don't have brakes, so like in my panic and like not realizing the moment, I accidentally like squeezed the gas because the gas was an actual like brake trigger thing.
Right.
That like it was like like the wire cord thing that pulls on itself when you do it.
Uh-huh.
And that was linked to the throttle on the engine that I put into it, and so thing goes just flies through the air, just going straight forward. I come straight out from under it, slam my head, get a concussion, get scraped up because, 60-year-old me is very stupid, and 60-year-old me does not wear a helmet.
Didn't you fracture something? Like your arm?
I don't think I got like, I think I just sprained it really bad.
And then really bad.
And then got road rash
Road
on my
rash.
arms and on the inside of my hands. Because obviously my palms went out to, like,
catch yourself.
Catch my fall, and I was all bloodied. Went into the nurse's office like, I'm not feeling so good. I was just like, oh, can somebody help me? I'm in a lot of pain. And they're like, holy crap! Oh, oh, oh. And they're all like freaking out, like, whoa! And then I went in there, and long story short, I got 1 day of like after school detention, which wasn't that bad. But football player was in the other car, so naturally nothing happened to him. Even though sure it was kind of my fault, but at the same time, why didn't he just, like, stop? Like, why didn't I stop? Well, I didn't have brakes, so I kind of had an excuse.
But you didn't know that.
True.
It was just a bad situation.
It was a bad situation, and little me got, like, a month of wrapped hands and pain, and yeah.
Yeah, it's probably punishment enough.
Which is what the cop said and why he didn't get reckless driving.
So, since then, we have...
He's just an idiot. Just let him go.
He literally was just like, I think this is punishment enough, seeing me with both my hands wrapped, like, tight, and, like, my arm in a sling because my wrist hurts really badly, and like, a bandage on my face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So ever since then, the no brakes has been kind of a meme among
joke.
us.
Yeah.
Brakes? I don't believe in them.
Pretty much.
We'll give you an update on that later.
Okay. There was another Pixar movie that they're coming out with as well.
Are you talking about Onward?
Yes.
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to a lot.
Yeah.
That one looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another one of those movies. It's like Solar. Looks like it's an idea that has potential.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's elves and centaurs and all kinds of things. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I love the high fantasy stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that
a
one.
new era.
Plus, it's got Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's right.
As brothers.
Disney just couldn't leave them alone.
You belong to us now.
They're their slaves. The Disney brand.
Yep.
They literally get cattle branded.
They get branded. It's just the D from Disney.
Yeah. So it turns out
a Mickey Mouse head.
Oh my goodness. That is dark. So the second recording of this is at 44 minutes now.
Oh wow.
44 minutes, so do we want to make it an hour or what?
Well, it already is an hour considering the other part, which is 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
What we could do
We're
is
an hour and 10 minutes.
So
yeah.
I think we can talk about one last topic and then we can wrap this up.
Okay.
Do you want another car story?
We'll do one more car story, yes.
Alright, boys. we got, so we just did the Ford car deal.
Uh-huh.
So we got Stuck Up Chip Car Crash, Adam Road Rage, Twin Turbo Jeep Cherokee, or trying to sell a broken 2001 Mustang to weird people who offered weird trades.
I want to hear weird trades.
You want to hear the 2001 Mustang?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
All right. So, a friend of mine owned a decently but kind of crappy 2001 orange Ford Mustang that was manual. It had a V8 in it, so at least it had that going for it. But it was in pretty beat up condition, as a lot of 2001 Ford Mustangs are. But it's very popular with lower class people who want a cheap sports car.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, it's just like, you know, like the Hicks. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm just gonna go out and say it. It's Hicks.
It's a hick car.
So he's like, okay, just keep on me side, because he knows that I, know a lot about cars. I'm like, okay, I'll help you, whatever. And so I put up the ad on a couple sites because he knows nothing about it. Like, he just got this car because it was cheap, or I think his dad gave it to him actually. And so I'm like, all right, so, and within like 30 minutes, I get 3 messages from one guy on Facebook, of course, Messenger. And he's like, bro. 3 times, 3 separate times. And this was like, each one was like 5 minutes apart. And then I'm like, yeah? Question mark. And mind you, when you send a message on Facebook, it tells you like the ad that you're doing it through. This guy didn't do it through that. He just messaged me directly because he like clicked on my name through that.
Right.
And I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, I want to buy the car. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, but see, my grandma just died and I want to honor her with this Mustang because she owned one.
Gosh.
So, would you just give it to me for like the funeral and then I'll bring it right back? And I'm like,
It's like, no!
And I'm like, sorry, I literally messaged by like, sorry to hear about your grandma, but unfortunately it is not available for rent. And I blocked him after that. Because obviously he wants to steal it.
Wow.
Never ever give somebody your car, no matter what, if you do not know them and they message you on Facebook.
Well, duh. Oh my gosh.
Just a disclaimer. So that was the first thing. Then I think I got this guy who, let's put it this way, when he messaged me and he's like, he did like the basic, like you just press on the button that automatically sends a message to somebody, so it's like,
right.
Hi, comma, I'm interested in your car, imperfect, like
right.
English or whatever. I'm like, oh boy, who's this guy? And I like when somebody tries and buys a car from me, I don't talk to them right away when I see them and be like, oh hey, whatever. I want to actually look at the person's profile, because especially on Facebook, because
good call.
You don't want to try and talk to somebody that's just gonna waste your time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I clicked on the guy and I looked at his profile, and every single they weren't posts that he like reposted or shared. They were all like his writing posts. And then I went back about a month, I think, and the first one was like, yeah, I just got out of prison. I'm gonna find that expletive word and expletive word kill her. No idea what that meant, but I'm guessing whoever got him in prison, because he just got out of prison. And then
Oh boy.
And the next one was like, looks like she moved to Mitchell, gonna have to find a way there. And then it was just like post after post talking about how he hates this person. And he's like, and then he messaged me, and so he did that, and I'm just like, sorry, sold it. He's like, then he messaged back like, why haven't you sold it then? Or hey, why haven't you marked it sold then? And I'm like, I don't know. I probably will do that soon. And he's just like, if you don't want to sell me the car, I'll expletive find where you live, and yeah, you can figure out what happened after that. So I probably called the police and told them about this individual, and never heard from him again. So that's cool. That was the second offer on this Mustang.
These are like horror stories, Sam.
I know. Selling
The
cars
people
is
you come in
dangerous.
contact with.
What? It's Facebook in South Dakota. What? Have you seen what Christy Nome posted?
No.
Meth, we're on it.
Yeah, I saw that ad. Oh, that is...
This really explains like half of these people.
That is one for the history books right there.
Wow.
I'm
Third
so
one.
proud of this state.
Third. All right, it's time for the third offer, guys.
Third offer. What have you got?
Third offer is. I'm guessing this individual lived on a farm.
Okay.
Hit me up and said, and this is just a straight trade. Normal person, I'm sure he's a decent human being, unlike the last one, and probably the one before that because he probably wanted to steal it.
Yeah.
But he's a decent human being, and he simply offered me a, 30-something-year-old case tractor, and I asked my friend, do you need a 30-something, I think it was like a 1970-something case tractor that ran and drove, apparently to him, according to him. And I asked him, do you need a 19-something, whatever, case tractor? And he probably said, no. Well, thank you, sir, but unfortunately we don't need a case tractor. Have a nice day. Okay, you too. All right, nice.
Decent fellow.
There you go.
But interesting nonetheless. Next person that offered me, I think 6 guns.
What kind were they?
I don't remember. I think there was a handgun and then like a couple rifles.
Okay.
And I think a shotgun or two.
Okay.
I mean, like they were probably worth about what we were asking for the car.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But my friend didn't want guns
Yeah.
because either he'd have to sell them and make his money back from that, which might be easier. I don't know if he took them to pawn shop, probably would be.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think he was 17, and I don't think he could even legally own them.
no.
So
Yeah.
So
not
we
worth
couldn't
it.
do that, so I was like, no, sorry. The person selling this is underage, and he's like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, no, not really, but thank you.
No, that's okay. We can still do it.
No, believe me, it's fine.
Trust me, it's okay.
It's okay! Block! So that was the next one.
Oh boy.
And then I got offered, let's just say it was a lady, and offered me a good time.
Oh gosh.
Next.
Yeah.
Next. Next.
So that was interesting. Blocked her.
Good. Very good.
She was like 40-something too.
Oh,
Anyway,
gosh.
let's
Go on. Move on.
Bad. Not good.
This video's gonna get
So,
black.
2001 Ford Mustangs are apparently very popular with the back
Jeez,
crowds.
guess so.
Like, I mean, this is why we make fun of Mustangs. This is why we make fun of Ford. This is why I hate Ford.
I know. Yeah.
The next guy literally offered me, and I kid you not, his entire collection of rare, air quotes, and exotic, air quotes, books. I asked him, how rare and how exotic are they? And he showed me a picture.
Walmart.
He showed me a picture of maybe like 13 books, and they looked semi-old, but they were Charles Dickens. The entire Pride and Prejudice book series. I think there was some Narnia in there.
That's rare and
so-
exotic. Narnia is rare and exotic.
And I said,
you
sir?
serious?
And I think some other ones that I can't really remember, but they were like mainstream books you could get on Borders or Amazon.
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh.
sir, I will give you exactly $3 for those. And he said, expletive off. And I said, okay. And promptly blocked him because he was like cussing me out for no reason because they wouldn't take rare air quotes and exotic air quotes books for a car. So at this point, I tell my friend, I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can take this. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get murdered. Like,
There's so many stories.
It's so hard to see that. And he's just like, dude, I will pay you for this. And I wasn't getting paid before. I'm like, okay. Okay, you sold me. I don't even care. Like, how much are you gonna pay me? He's like, $200. I'm like, oh, that's more than I was expecting. Okay. Well, Like, if I die, at least I'll die a rich man with $200 in the bank. Because keep in mind, I was still working at Fairway and making $25 a week. So $200 was like a lot to me
Messenger.
back then. Like $200 was like 3 months work for me.
So apparently, me getting rid of Facebook was a really good call.
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't get as funny stories, but holy cow.
The next guy.
Oh, there's more.
There's a lot more. I got 11 offers for this. Before somebody literally said, okay, so I'll just show you how this ended actually before we go on to the next ones.
Oh, okay.
But it literally ended with like a regular person who actually wanted a project car who offered me like $50 less than the asking price. Or no, it was like, yeah. Actually, no, I think he actually paid me the full book price. I don't know, but he paid me cash. Done deal. And it took like half an hour.
Before that...
Yeah. Okay, the next person after this person, I believe, was it? I'm just gonna start saying them because I can't remember like all of them in order. But let's just say I think I got like 3 or 4 for offer trades for guns. I got quite a bit of gun offers.
I mean, it is South Dakota.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I got like a crappy ATV that didn't even work, plus a snowmobile that
May or
worked.
may not have worked.
Yeah. And I was like, no. I mean, keep in mind, most of this stuff is like worth about. We didn't ask much for the car because the car was pretty crappy at this point. But at the same time, like we're not gonna like. No,
we still
he
want
just
good
cash.
value. Just pay us the amount.
Yeah, like sell the stuff and then get back to me.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard. I got offered, I think a couple computers.
Oh, yeah, that's
which
worth a car.
wasn't not well. They're computers though.
Even so, like,
I mean, like old computers.
yeah,
Like Windows 7 era computers.
yeah, so worthless.
Like $50.
Yeah.
At most.
Oh,
And then I got offered a couple phones, like literally just a phone.
So offered original in the packaging Furbies.
Do it! I'll take your whole stock.
you know, you could have just taken it to
Dude,
a used
I
car
would-
dealership.
I want to be one of those people that trolls with those collections. It's just like, I'll give you my entire Barbie Dreamhouse collection. For this car.
Plus a very rare Ken doll. The Ken
His
doll
hair is
itself is
swooped
worth
to
about
the right, not the left.
Only 3 known in existence.
3! It was a production error!
I'll give you my entire Hot Wheels collection. As a story in of itself.
No.
Okay. I got offered a project fire truck.
A
That's
project.
kind of interesting.
It's interesting, but yeah. But like, I mean project, I mean didn't have wheels, didn't have an engine, rusted out like 1980 something. So like,
Right.
who really cares?
Uh-huh.
Nobody gives a crap. I got offered like an assortment of light bars.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
You know you're a hick when you're offering people light bars for a car. Like, if you don't know, light bars are a big thing in the hick truck world. Like, if you don't have a 60-inch light bar, you ain't nothing. You can't talk to me.
You can't even take that off
In the back roads in South Dakota, we use light bars. We don't need them headlights.
You better have a smokestack up the roof too. Then the exhaust
yeah.
pipe's got to stick up at least a foot above the roof of the car.
And it better be diesel. If it don't have a light bar that can at least blind you in 30 seconds, get out of my face. So, yeah.
It's got to scorch your retinas in a 0.5 second time span.
Or you are out of the club. So, yeah, I literally got offered light bars. That was... I
How much you want to bet it's the same guy? He's just got all this crap, and he's just bound and determined. He just makes all these fake Facebook accounts. It's
You know the one
just
guy.
a hoarder trying to change his ways.
but he wants a car. Oh my gosh.
I actually asked this guy, I actually talked to him, it was really funny. Because I was actually like, after he offered me that, and I was like, no. I actually asked him a little bit later, like, what what are you doing with your life? You're actually offering people light bars for cars. And he's just like, screw you, man. And I'm like, hey, it's an honest question.
I'm just curious where you're at.
Oh. No, this one was actually kind of creepy and interesting.
Okay.
Aside from the guy threatening to kill you.
Well, yeah.
Which one?
Never mind that one.
This guy offered me, I think like a collection of model replicas of Nazi uniforms. I don't know. And he's like, oh,
I'm a fascist in my spare time.
He also offered a Luger gun on top of it. And he's like, I also got this Luger that I'll throw in. And I'm like, what? And he's like, they're model replicas that I keep as a reminder of history. I'm like, oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll believe that. History, all right. Like, not good to judge, but...
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so I was like, yeah, no, good.
Remind us...
I actually asked my friend this too. I'm like, you want some model replicas of Nazi uniforms and a Luger? And he's like, no.
Remind us what kind of car you're trying to sell here.
A 2001
Mustang.
Ford Mustang. In pretty crap condition, manual V8. With I think over 200,000 miles on it.
They're offering you that junk for a Ford Mustang.
Well, apparently to him, they were original and worth a lot because they were created by some random guy's name that he just threw out there that apparently makes really, really accurate Nazi replica uniforms.
Oh, because that's what I'm looking for. Historical accuracy in my Nazi uniforms.
Yep.
Jeez.
Weird.
Because when I walk around town in my Nazi uniform, I want to make sure people know it's historically accurate.
Yeah. There was one more thing that I think is worth noting, and this one was really funny. I got offered a boat.
Oh,
A boat.
yeah, a boat.
With a hole in it.
And a jar of Flex Seal.
Oh no! It had a hole in it! He's like, I'll trade you this boat! And he showed me a picture of it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice, actually. That's probably worth it. He's like, yeah, one minor small thing wrong with it. I'm like, oh, what's that? He's like, it's got a hole in it. It shows me, a watermelon-sized hole in the hole. And I'm like, how'd that get there? And he's like, we hit a rock. I was like, okay. It's like, I got a quote here for the boat repair shop. It cost $3,000 to fix it. Like, that's more than we're asking for the car. Why? What are you doing with your life? Just scream out. I think we're asking $2,500 for this car. He straight up me a boat that is $3,000.
Do you want a $3,000 hole with a boat? Oh my God.
So yeah, I was trying to sell 2001. It took me this happened in 3 days. I sold it that weekend. That week was really interesting at school. Getting death threats, getting offered guns, getting offered special favors, Nazi uniforms, and boats with holes in them for a 2001 Ford Mustang piece of junk. Imagine what people go through every day trying to sell crap cars on Facebook.
I really just wanted to be the same guy.
And I didn't even post it on Craigslist. All of this was through Facebook. Oh my gosh. You know what would have made it so much better, though? They got offered, a full suit of armor.
Dude, I would have done that. I would have been like, dude, is it full plate? Heck yeah.
I would have made sure that it would fit me, though.
Oh, well, yeah, but oh my gosh.
So, that's pretty funny. Now that I think about it, yeah. Well, It's been Car Stories with Sam.
This has been Car Stories with Sam, a new segment that we'll probably have back.
I've got a lot.
Okay, so we're gonna end the podcast here. This probably went way over time, but at this,
split it up. Probably.
We
can make multiple.
It's worth it.
podcasts.
well,
it's worth it.
yeah, I think we'll just split it up.
Oh,
Hey
man.
guys, comment if you want me to actually start like my own like podcast type channel, because I've actually been considering it a lot.
We
doing,
could.
like,
We should start like we
a
should have
car
WotM
story.
and then have WotM podcasts.
But I'm thinking of doing my own like literally just car stories and car news podcast.
Car stories on your channel.
What we could do is if we made a separate podcast channel, each of us could have our podcast series. You could have your car stories.
Yeah.
Kyle could have, well,
Whatever.
photography blogs or
Yeah.
whatever, and I could make up whatever I want.
So we've got this we're already coming up with all kinds of ideas.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We will.
We're gonna keep up with these car stories, and they'll go on and they'll go live as they do. I'm not sure how it's gonna look in post yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
next episode we're gonna have
Coming up.
next episode we're gonna have Stuck Up Chick Car Crash, Adam Road Rage, Twin Turbo Jeep Cherokee, and probably a couple others that I think of, because like most of these are like I have so many that they're just in the deep recesses of my mind that I have to like bring
Recording for an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay, we're done here.
like that like trying to sell that Mustang was like a half hour in and of itself.
good.
That Mustang story.
Worth it.
All right.
Okay,
This has been podcast time.
episode 4, and
It's been pod time.
there's probably been like 5 episodes worth of podcasting done here,
Oh,
but
yeah.
okay, we're done here. We're out of here. Have a good one. Goodbye.
It's been pod time and Sam's Car Stories. Peace.